Abandoned places in Liverpool. Nobody wants you to see. Liverpool is one of the most famous cities in England. The Beatles, the docks, the football, the accent. Millions of people visit every year. But behind the waterfront bars and the museum gift shops, there's a Liverpool that the city would rather you didn't look too closely at. Mysterious underground labyrinths that nobody can explain. Churches deliberately left in ruins as war memorials. Entire streets where Ringo Starr was born that were emptied, boarded up, and left to rot for over a decade. And beneath all of it, a network of tunnels so vast that after 200 years, nobody has found the end of them. These are 13 abandoned places in Liverpool that nobody wants you to see, and number one has been a mystery for over 2 centuries, because the man who built it refused to tell anyone why. This is Dust and Stories. Subscribe now. This city has secrets you haven't heard before. Number 13. The Futurist. Picture House, Lime Street. Right on Lime Street, one of Liverpool's busiest roads, the Futurist Picture House stood for over a century as one of the city's most distinctive buildings. Built around 1912, it served as a cinema until 1982, when it was closed and abandoned. For decades after, it sat empty, its ornate facade slowly crumbling while students walked past it every day on their way to lectures. The building became a symbol of Liverpool's struggle with dereliction, a beautiful piece of architecture left to decay in one of the most visible locations in the city. It was eventually demolished in 2016 to make way for redevelopment. Today, the Futurist is gone, but for over 30 years, one of Liverpool's finest buildings rotted in plain sight while the city did nothing. Number 12. The Great Western Railway Warehouses, Canning Dock. Down by the waterfront, near the famous Albert Dock, a row of enormous Victorian warehouses once handled cargo from ships that sailed every corner of the British Empire. The Great Western Railway warehouses were built around 1890, massive brick structures designed to store goods being transferred from boats to trains. When Liverpool's docks declined in the 20th century, the warehouses were abandoned. For years, they stood empty and deteriorating, their windows smashed, their loading bays open to the weather, their walls slowly being consumed by ivy. Parts of the dock area have since been redeveloped, but traces of Liverpool's abandoned industrial waterfront are still visible if you know where to look. The iron rings where ships were tied up are still embedded in the quayside. Number 11. The Greenbank Drive Synagogue. On Greenbank Drive in the south of the city, a stunning Grade II star-listed synagogue has been slowly falling apart. Built in 1936 for the local Jewish congregation, it was eventually vacated as the community moved away. Urgent repairs were carried out with help from Historic England. But the building remains unoccupied. Vegetation is growing through the roof. The masonry is deteriorating. The stained glass windows are cracking. Plans to convert it into flats were proposed, but never materialized. Historic England has described the building as being at immediate risk of further rapid deterioration or loss of fabric. It's one of Liverpool's most beautiful abandoned buildings, and it's dying in slow motion. Number 10. The Welsh Presbyterian Church, Toxteth. Nicknamed Toxteth Cathedral for its sheer size, the Welsh Presbyterian Church on Princess Road was built in 1868 to serve Liverpool's enormous Welsh-speaking population. At its peak, over 20,000 Welsh workers lived in the city, and this church was the spiritual heart of their community. As the Welsh population declined over the 20th century, the congregation shrank. The church fell into disuse and is now in a visibly decaying state, one of the most striking derelict buildings in the entire city. It stands on a major road, impossible to miss, yet nothing has been done to save it. For a city that owes so much of its history and infrastructure to Welsh workers, the state of this building is a quiet disgrace. Number 9. St. Andrew's Gardens, the Bull Ring. In the shadow of the Anglican Cathedral, one of Liverpool's most notorious housing complexes once stood. St. Andrew's Gardens, known locally as the Bull Ring, was a massive circular social housing block built in the 1930s. For decades, it housed thousands of residents in densely packed flats arranged around a central courtyard. The complex became infamous for poverty, crime, and overcrowding. By the 1980s, conditions had deteriorated so badly that the council began emptying the building. The last residents were moved out, and the bullring was demolished in 2002. Today, the site is mostly open space, but older Liverpudlians still remember the bullring, and many of them grew up inside its walls. Number 8. The overhead railway remnants. Liverpool once had something no other city in Britain could match: an elevated railway that ran along the entire waterfront. The Liverpool Overhead Railway, opened in 1893, was the first electrically powered elevated railway in the world. It carried passengers above the docks, offering views across the Mersey that no other transport system could match. Locals called it the Docker's Umbrella because dock workers sheltered beneath it when it rained. At its peak, it carried over 10 million passengers a year and was considered one of the engineering marvels of Victorian Britain. The railway was closed in 1956 because the structure was deemed too expensive to repair. It was demolished the following year. Today, almost nothing remains. A few support columns survive in odd corners of the docklands. Plaques mark where stations once stood, but the railway itself, the world's first electric elevated line, is gone, demolished because nobody wanted to pay to save it. CTA2, mid-roll approximately 8 to 9 minutes. We're halfway through and we haven't even gotten underground yet. Subscribe, because what's underneath Liverpool is stranger than what's on the surface. Number 7. The Welsh Streets, Toxteth. In Toxteth, a grid of Victorian terraced streets named after Welsh villages, Winstay, Volas, Rivlas, Powys, Medrin Kinmel, was built in the 1870s by Welsh architect Richard Owens for the 20,000 Welsh dock workers and their families. Ringo Starr was born on Madron Street in 1940. For over a century, these streets were a living, breathing community. Then, in the early 2000s, the government decided they were obsolete. Residents were moved out. Houses were boarded up. The council spent nearly £22 million preparing the streets for demolition. But a survey showed 72% of residents had actually been happy with their homes. Campaigners from Save Britain's Heritage and the National Trust fought the demolition. The plans collapsed when funding was withdrawn in 2011. For over a decade, hundreds of terraced houses sat empty and derelict. Streets that had housed families for 150 years, abandoned by the people who were supposed to protect them. The Welsh streets have since been refurbished, but the decade of emptiness left scars on the community that haven't fully healed. The fact that Ringo Starr's birthplace nearly got bulldozed tells you everything you need to know about how Liverpool treats its own history. Number 6. The Edge Hill Railway Tunnels. Liverpool has a claim that most people don't know about: the world's first purpose-built railway tunnel. The Wapping Tunnel, completed in 1829, runs for over a mile beneath the city, connecting Edge Hill to the docks. It was built for the Liverpool and Manchester Railway and was originally used to lower goods wagons down to the waterfront by gravity and cable. When the railway network expanded, the tunnel became redundant. It was sealed and forgotten. Today, the tunnel still exists beneath the streets, dark, intact, and mostly inaccessible. Occasional tours are organized, but for most of the year, one of the most historically significant railway tunnels in the world sits empty beneath Liverpool, while the city carries on above without knowing it's there. Number 5. St. Luke's Bombed-Out Church. At the corner of Berry Street and Leith Street, a roofless church stands open to the sky like a wound that was never stitched. St. Luke's was built between 1811 and 1832 and served the local community for over a century. Then, on May 5, 1941, during the Liverpool Blitz, one of the most devastating bombing campaigns outside London, an incendiary bomb hit the church and gutted the interior. The walls survived, but the roof, the pews, the organ, everything inside was destroyed. The decision was made not to rebuild it. Instead, St. Luke's was left as a ruin, a deliberate memorial to the nearly 2,000 people killed during that single week of bombing. For over 60 years, the church sat derelict and overgrown, sealed off from the public. In 2007, it was reopened as a community arts venue. But it's still a ruin. The walls still stand without a roof. Rain falls into the nave, and the building remains exactly what it was intended to be, a scar on the city that refuses to heal, because it's not supposed to. Number 4. The Harrington Dock System. South of the Albert Dock, there's a stretch of Liverpool's waterfront that most tourists never see. The Harrington Dock System, built in the 19th century to handle the city's enormous shipping trade, has been partially filled in and redeveloped over the years. But sections of the old dock infrastructure remain: crumbling quay walls, rusting iron bollards, sealed warehouse entrances, and access points to underground vaults that once stored goods from every continent on Earth. Liverpool's docks once stretched for 7 miles along the Mersey. At the height of the British Empire, this was one of the busiest ports in the world. Today, much of that 7-mile system is either demolished, converted, or simply abandoned. The further south you walk from the Albert Dock, the more of the old Liverpool you find, and the less the city wants you to see it. Number 3, the Victoria Tunnel System, Edge Hill. Beneath Edge Hill, there's a network of railway tunnels dating back to the 1830s that represent some of the earliest railway engineering in history. When the Liverpool and Manchester Railway was being built, the engineers had to solve the problem of getting trains from the elevated station at Edge Hill down to the docks at the waterfront. They carved tunnels through the sandstone, created cutting systems, and built infrastructure that was revolutionary at the time. Some of these tunnels are still accessible. Others were sealed decades ago. The cutting at Edge Hill, where trains emerged from the tunnel into open air, is still visible, overgrown with trees and bushes, and largely ignored by the thousands of commuters who pass through Edge Hill Station every week. Standing there, you're looking at the birthplace of the modern railway network, and almost nobody in Liverpool gives it a second glance. Number 2, the Joseph Williamson Tunnels, the surface. Before we go underground for number 1, you need to understand what sits above the tunnels. On Mason Street in Edge Hill, the front facade of Joseph Williamson's Georgian townhouse still stands, the only remaining wall of a building that has been everything from a private home to a school to an army barracks to a garage. Behind it, the surface looks like a barren wasteland, rubble, cabins, and bare ground. Most people who walk past have no idea what's beneath their feet. The entire neighborhood is built on top of an underground labyrinth. Pavements have sunk. Construction projects have been halted because workers kept breaking through into unknown voids, and volunteers have been digging, by hand, for over 20 years, trying to find out just how far the tunnels go. They still don't know. Number 1, the Williamson Tunnels. And finally, the most mysterious abandoned place in Liverpool and possibly in all of England. Beneath the streets of Edge Hill lies a vast underground labyrinth of tunnels, chambers, and vaulted halls that were built between 1810 and 1840 by a retired tobacco merchant named Joseph Williamson. Nobody knows why he built them. There are no plans, no written records, no diary entries, no explanation of any kind. Williamson employed hundreds of workers, many of them soldiers returning from the Napoleonic Wars, to dig and build beneath the neighborhood for 3 decades. The tunnels are not simple passages. They include multi-level chambers, a 64-foot banqueting hall with a perfectly constructed arched ceiling, and a system called the Paddington Tunnels that descends 4 levels deep into the sandstone, over 60 feet below ground. Some passages lead nowhere. Others open into enormous voids that were only discovered in the last few years. In one section, volunteers found a perfectly paved stone floor hidden underground in a simple-sided building, beautifully crafted, completely pointless, buried where nobody would ever see it. Some historians believe Williamson was a philanthropist who created the tunnels purely to give unemployed men work. Others think he was a religious extremist who feared the apocalypse and was building an underground refuge. A few believe he was simply eccentric, a wealthy man with too much money and a compulsion to dig. The truth is, nobody knows. When Williamson died in 1840, he took the answer with him. Over the following century, the tunnels were filled with rubble and forgotten. The Corporation of Liverpool backfilled them with demolition waste. Generations of residents lived above them without knowing they were there. Then, in the 1990s, excavations began. Volunteers have been digging ever since, clearing rubble by hand, bucket by bucket, revealing chambers that haven't seen light in 200 years. And they're still finding new ones. Nobody knows how far the tunnels extend. Nobody knows what's at the end of them. And nobody knows why a wealthy Victorian businessman spent 30 years and a fortune building an underground world that he never told a single person about. Liverpool is one of the most celebrated cities in England. But beneath the surface, and sometimes right on the surface, there are places this city would rather you didn't look at too closely. Underground labyrinths with no explanation, churches left as open wounds, streets where beetles were born, emptied and boarded up for a decade, and the world's first electric elevated railway torn down because nobody wanted to pay to keep it. If this video showed you a Liverpool you didn't know existed, subscribe to Dust and Stories. We find the places the world forgot, and we bring you the dust and the stories behind them. Like the video, drop a comment telling us which place on this list surprised you the most, and thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.